What up, brothers? It's Club King returning for another new review, and as you can see, the figure in front of you is a new Captain America from the Avengers Age of Ultron. It's been kindly sent to me by our man who can, Anthony Sang out there in Hong Kong, better known as Budget Stark on YouTube. Please subscribe to his channel if you don't already. Amazingly, he sent it early hours of Tuesday morning this week, and it arrived in England or Sheffield on Thursday day, so it just amazes me. Sometimes you can get a figure quicker from Hong Kong than you can get one from another city in England. Just blows my mind. So I'm going to review it up totally, get the score out in a possible 35, cover all the categories I normally do, and tell you my total thoughts on the figure. I will say, obviously, I've not seen the film yet, so the source material, I'm going to have to come up with another way to give that a score out of 5. I also want to say to the members of the 1/6 scale views and reviews group on Facebook, it is game time, which means you can start sending in your guesses for the total score in exchange for a name check in the last scene of this video. So crack on and get your scores in. But anyway, let's roll on to the review proper. Before we start getting some scores on doors, I'll just show you the pose. Pretty much an upright position, holding his mask with his left hand, holding his belt buckle with his right. As you see, got the Steve Rogers head on, looking pretty sweet. Shield on the back, and the box in the background. Right, so here we go, source material. What have I took into account here? Obviously I've not seen the film yet. I will be seeing it on Thursday when it comes out in the UK, and obviously that could make the score fluctuate. But what I've got to do is take into account the character, and I will start off by saying I don't think that Captain America is anybody's favourite Avenger, although his standalone films have been good. And he is good in the first Avengers film. I'm assuming he's going to be pretty good in this, and also, more than anything, I'm looking forward to him in Civil War next year. So I'm buzzing for that. I'm going to take into account the fact of how strong the Avengers were. I think I've always rated any figure from Avengers a 4 out of 5, because I think the film was that strong, one of the best superhero films you're ever going to see. And also I'm going to take into account the trailers we've seen so far. I'm one of them hypocrites who sits and moans about, I hate it when they show so many trailers, it kills the film, but then I watch every trailer they put on, so sometimes you can just skip past them, although they're too tempting to watch. And I will say every trailer I've seen has looked amazing, and I think, again, it's just going to be a massive happening, so really looking forward to going to see that. But because I've not seen the film and I can't judge his character in it, all I can really do is go straight down the line. I don't think it's going to be terrible. I don't think it's going to be an amazing classic that we're going to remember in 20 years' time. Maybe I could be wrong with that, because these superheroes franchises are taking over Hollywood. I never think they're going to be Oscar worthy, but they are really, really enjoyable, and probably the films you look forward to. If you look at this year, you're thinking about the Avengers, probably Ant-Man, Star Wars, maybe Terminator, and then leading into next year, obviously Civil War, and then Batman and Superman. So they are the films you do look forward to, or in this hobby we do look forward to them. But like I said, to make it fair, I'm going to give the source material a 3 and a possible 5. Onto the packaging, and you can pretty much back away if you want to, because there's not much to see here. I'm not even going to move the box because all the artwork is on the front. I've now seen the Mark 42, the die-cast Iron Man, and I do see the uniform design of these Avenger 2 slip covers in this case. I know, straight out middle of the road, decent ply of cardboard. The picture's okay, although it's not going to blow your mind. Just the chrome wording, the Avengers, or Marvel Avengers, Age of Ultron. The logo's at the bottom. The picture is what it is. A little bit busy for my taste. I do prefer the Avengers 1 boxers, but I suppose they are going to have the same colour coding system that the original Avengers are. Obviously I don't know that for a fact, I'm just guessing, and it is going to be the similar size for every character they release. It's okay, it's functional, but it's not going to blow your mind, so I'm going to score the packaging a 3 out of 5. Moving on to likeness, and as we move up, you can see the pose I've got him in. Again, still pretty upright, just taking the shield off his back, but still got the Chris Evans, Steve Rogers head sculpt on. Now, I am going to do a comparison video, so you will see them side by side, but it pretty much is the same sculpt as the stealth version if you got it with the Steve Rogers, the twin pack. Obviously this time it comes all in one set, and you do also get the empty mask, which I'll cover when I do the accessories section. It also brings the Captain America head, but we'll talk about that again in a minute. We'll look at this one first. As you can see, I said I really liked the last version, the stealth suit version, and again, because it's the same sculpt, I am going to rank it really, really highly. I think they've done a really nice job on it. This time the slight difference, as you see, the eyes are looking off to his left. This time I think they've given the hair more of a sort of gold wash through the top section, so it does have that, when the light hits it, it'll look more of the blonde. I will say as well, that's not picking it up as much as I thought it would once the light hit it, but in hand it does seem to be roundabout accurate. The depth in the eyes is really good, the intention on the face, really nice expression, not too menacing, not too angry looking, but really determined, and I do like it. I'll just pull away. Look at distance. I've gone for the head down because obviously he's pulling the shield off. I will say, because somebody might ask about the pose on the shield, you see his hand is not actually grabbing the shield, it's just the lower section, or the lower handle is magnetised to the buckle on his straps. Simply because we are really caning the articulation through the shoulder and elbow. It's very hard to get his arm any higher than that, but I'll cover that on the articulation section. Just wanted to show you in another pose. So yeah, really nice touch. I will tell you which I prefer in the comparison, or it would make that video irrelevant. I am just going to tell you that the Chris Evans sculpt is pretty faultless, I think. They do always seem to get better and better, and that will probably be the case with this. Paintwork awesome, sculpt awesome. Moving down to the Captain America. Now this is pretty much just a straight up copy of the stealth head. Only difference is in the paintwork, where they've put the silver accents on either side, as you can see here just below my finger, which is sort of, I think it symbolises the wing section that old school Captain America used to have. Again, it's the helmet with the ears showing, which I really like and do prefer. If I move around, you see the hair sculpt and paintwork just coming down onto the neck, which also looks really good. It is a complete sculpt of head and neck together, which I do prefer. Like I said on the Marty McFly review, no messy split. Only downside with this, and I actually touched the paintwork up on mine, I think the strap, I'm not saying it's inaccurate, because I get a feeling it's not. I think it is probably very accurate, but I just wish it were the same shade of brown as the rest of the straps. It's just, as you see there, I wish it were like the central brown looking strap. I said it on the stealth version, and again, it just, I don't know, from a distance it kind of blends into his skin tone a little bit too much. I wish it were the darker brown, but on the sculpt and the paintwork, obviously it's flawless. Again, you get little scratches at the side. Really nice looking head sculpt. And like I said, sometimes they put head sculpts in these figures and one's really strong and one not so much. This one, I would gladly display it with either sculpt on, and it does look awesome either way. You have guessed your scores. I pretty much know you'll have guessed this. I'm giving the facial likeness a 5 out of 5. Just let you drink in that pose. So that does look beautiful. Moving on to his outfit. And before we start again, move up, show you the pose from a few angles. Pretty much running. I know somebody will ask, so I'll tell you now. It is the new Goblin stand again. So, let's cover the outfit. I'll tell you first the overall look. When I saw the initial shots of this figure, and even the initial shots of the suit from the film, when they started filtering through, I thought it looked a little bit too busy. And by that I mean just too much mixture of colour. And I don't know, just too many things attracting your eye. There was nothing really sleek or cool about it. They just tried to get as much red and white onto it as they could, and then obviously the brown to represent the leather on the gloves and the strap and the boots and so on and so forth. And I just thought, no, it's too much. They've gone too far. I will say, when I received the figure in hand, I was really impressed by it, and the the way they've replicated it in figure form, I think Hot Toys have done a really good job. But there is a couple of little niggles, and I will tell you about those. Also, I will start off by saying where the body is really good, the suit is still an hindrance to the articulation in places, but throughout this category and articulation, which is the next, it will cover and try and explain if the restrictions are in the body or if they are in the suit. So we'll start off at the bottom with the boot, a new style boot, should I say. As you can see, it is made up of two pieces, a foot section, which is really well done. You'd have some weathering on it, the style of the tread, and then the toe guard, so on and so forth. It does look really good. And then the brown and red section, which is a soft rubber, making kind of the shin guard and the upper part of the boot. One of my niggles does lie here. The ankle articulation is good, obviously, because it's two separate pieces, although not amazing. I will be honest and say that. I will say the paintwork is really good. You can see the mud splash marks. Really good, really accurate to the film. The niggle comes from, if you look at that one, sort of there, you can see it's already starting to rub and maybe will lead to a split. I hope that's not the case, because I'm guessing that to buy a pair of these boots or a replacement set would be expensive. So I kind of wish that the leather section, they would either use an elastic or some kind of elastic makeup or some fabric, because it is soft rubber and I've got a feeling it's going to rip. So that would be one of my niggles. I don't know if I would knock it down on that. But looks alone, pretty good. Moving up to the trousers. Right. A lot of people said the upper trouser on the stealth version was too baggy, and I think that was because he'd got a sort of pocket there and one there, which was sort of puffed out. They'd not really pressed it or steamed it into place, and I don't know, it is what it is. It seems to fit better, and it's misleading because his trousers still are pretty baggy, which is a good thing in one respect, because it does allow good knee articulation. It's still very restrictive around there and there, so any rotation or wide splits, you're never going to do it. I will say that this is again soft rubber section here. You see the patchwork and the design all does look really good, but obviously, like I said, there is slight restrictions. Now the knee, it has an hard pad on the front, as you can see, but then it's quite baggy around the back of the knee, which allows you to bend it, which is a good idea. But I will say, sometimes when it's stood in an upright position, you might have noticed in the first two poses, it does bellow out a little bit. Now, I think if there'd have been some way that they could have sort of nipped the trouser in, I think that looks a lot better and a lot closer to accurate. So if there was some way you could nip the fabric in at the back of the knee, it would still allow some articulation, but it would fit in and give the leg some sort of contour between the bulk of the upper thigh down into the knee and then obviously down onto the calf. So again, that's a little niggle. The belt is really good and stays in place simply because it's exactly the same as the stealth version. There's a press stud inside the belt there, which holds it to the trousers, inside the belt there, which holds it to the trousers, and then it fastens at the back, as you can see. So yeah, it stays in place, not constantly falling up and down like the older versions of Captain America used to do. Moving up to the upper body. Now the upper body section is very similar to the stealth version, and I'm talking about mainly the ab section. There is sort of a squidgy feeling fat suit underneath still, and then it is sort of a thick cotton feeling material. So again, slight hindrance in the articulation and the crunch. I feel it's coming from the outfit, not the body. So there is that. Another thing, I'm not convinced that every star I've seen, and this one included, is 100% straight. They're slightly off. And also, I've seen a few where the stitching has come out here, and also when the collar on one comes round too far and it's not symmetrical. So look out and make sure you check your version. Again, that might just be the early release stuff, but it is something to notice. I had my Avengers 1 Captain America, the star were fucking crooked as shit, and I had to actually take it off the suit and re-glue it back in place. That's how bad mine were. This ain't that bad, although I'm not 100% sure it's in right place. And the fact that this star is sort of on top of this other sort of star design going across here and here and attached to the body, it's going to be hard to move it. So how it comes is how it stays, so to speak. In the upper body fabric, there is a split at the shoulder again, which allows the shoulder to move a little bit better than the stealth version. And I say a little bit, I mean a little bit. Some of the pictures have been quite misleading and sort of showed that, oh, his arm will go straight above his head and it'll do this, that and other. Bullshit it will. You've got to give it some real stick to get it even to that, and that is not that articulated. The pose I got it in where putting the shield on his back, we are giving it some hammer. That is as far up as the arm would rotate forward. So that's on the restrictions. As you see the design coming down and the different piece of material, the key important one is that, because that is the makes up the magnet which holds the shield, which I'll show you on the other arm. And then moving down, the gloves are sculpted. Bit of a bastard to get on and off as well, because they're quite a long cuff design, and it does hinder the articulation, and I'm on about the movement of the hand. You get a little stick in the accessories which will tuck the outfit down into his glove, but like I say, it is a bit of a bitch to swap them on and off. Just showing you around. It all does look really nice, and when he's in an upright position, I think the dimensions do look really, really good. But like I said, there is still things worth telling you because it's not amazing. Looking at the other arm, so we'll pop this off. I showed this on the unboxing. The shield on the inside, and I will cover this again probably when I do the accessories. Magnetised there and there, which holds that section of the arm there, which is fixed to the arm, so it don't rotate with the outfit. It's pretty much fixed there. And only these gloves are magnetic, so the gloves that don't have that on them, if it's got that on them, then they're not magnetic. If they are a smooth back to the glove like that one, then it is magnetic. It tells you that inside the box. So there is only one set of hands that will actually only hold the shield, although that magnet is strong enough to hold the shield on its own. So you could have the fist on there and it would still hold, although not as safely as when you've got that glove on and that. So another thing, key worth telling you. As we move around again, the strap is very similar to the stealth version and a lot of the versions, to be honest, with this sort of buckle at the back, this triangular buckle. I will say, obviously, because it's metal, the shield does attach to that, and then also there's a piece of metal sort of down here behind where the behind the stand's grabbing it, so the shield attaches there and is really safe. So yeah, helmet again, like I said, if you've had the stealth version or if you've seen the review on the stealth version, you've pretty much seen it. The only difference, like I've mentioned, the silver accent, which symbolises the wing, I feel. The ear coming through and coming down with the awesome looking sculpt. So, very nice. Another thing worth mentioning, the sort of elasticated section of the inner collar, the plastic tool what I was talking about, that also when you change the heads, don't trap that into the neck. You need to put that little implement in, and that will sort of scoop the collar out from being trapped within the neck. So, really nice. Looks good. Not the most functional suit ever, which probably won't be a surprise to any Captain America collector. The three little niggles, what I mentioned, so to the star, not always been good. The problems I've seen already on a few of them. I think the trousers are a little bit too baggy around the knee, and I don't like the thought of that plastic sort of strap that goes under the boot. I don't like the thought of that snapping. So I have actually, them combined three problems, I have knocked the suit down. And also that's along with the restrictions that it does cause. So I am only giving the outfit a 4 out of a possible 5. Moving on to articulation, and although I have covered quite a lot of this during the suit, everything's going to be worthwhile telling you. Just show you the pose first. I'm leaping, tried to get a lot of movement through certain joints to demonstrate what we'll do. Moving forward, just about to launch his shielding like a bowling style whip. That's what I've gone for. Right, we'll go sort of from the ground up again. The ankle articulation is pretty good, although the upper part of the boot does restrict the lower part moving, like sort of pivot and twist of the lower section. So, and also you wouldn't want to try and do it too much, because like I alluded to, you don't want the boot splitting the strap, so be careful with that. But there is movement through there because, like I say, it's two separate bits. If I move down to the knee, you can see it is a double bend knee. There's plenty of fabric there to allow for that, and the front hard section doesn't hinder the knee articulation. Upper part of the leg is slightly different. Not much splits or forward and back kick. That's down to the restriction of the fabric and the trousers, and probably the fact that it goes into a really tight crutch section and round onto his arse and then up into his belt. So that is probably what restricts that. But the body would do it if it was naked. Again, the leg I've gone for a lesser bend just to demonstrate. Also I've pushed the toe forward on that one. Also just gets some movement through the foot. I haven't done any crunch as such, or I've sort of done reverse crunch. So if I show from there, I've sort of bent his upper body backwards slightly, left that arm straight. I will say there is motion in the upper shoulder, although limited due to the suit underneath the outer suit, if that makes sense to you. You'll know how these suits are made up by now. Going down, it is a double bend elbow, although the gathering of the material stops it from happening. These don't really hinder it because they're in a position sort of really on the back of the elbow, so when the elbow's bent, it does stay in place really well, although like I said, because the materials all coming together and bunch up, it does restrict it a little bit. It's not that they only use one layer of material. As you can see there, all these certain sections and patchwork is all stitched together, so what it creates is like a gathering and underlayer material. If you turn the suit inside out, obviously it's layer on layer on layer, which is what stops the double bend elbow bending to its full potential. Again, the elbow pad don't really matter the fact it's there because it's in the right place. So that is good. I don't know, the body is good. Oh, only the neck is lower ball joint at the bottom, no articulation at the top of the neck, obviously, and I prefer that, like I've said. I would think about softening your hands before you swap them on and off as well. And remember, it does have the implement to tuck the suit back into the cuff section of the glove. So think about that. They are a bitch to sort of swap on and off because it is that hard feeling plastic. So you would want to warm them up, dip them in a sink of red hot water, pop your wrist pegs into them, and then put your wrist peg into your arm. That is what I would recommend. The suit is not glued around the wrist this time as it were before, so there is movement there. But because the suit is so tight on its forearm, it doesn't move a lot. If you wanted to glue it, it's an easy enough fix. I don't think I will be on this. So the arm, as regards raising up, that is probably as high as you're going to get it up. That is probably as far as you're going to get it bent. And on the leg, like I've said, very limited kick forward and back, but that is the limit to the leg bend, which is pretty good. So the articulation on this, because they tried to tell us it were a massive improvement, I disagree. I don't know what it would do if I took the fat suit off. I don't think it would change it a great deal because the restrictions aren't where the fat suit would cover it. So I don't know, they alluded to much better articulation. It's not really the case. It's like every other Captain America. And in some cases worse because of the gloves. So I'm going to go straight down the line and just give it a 3 out of a possible 5. Moving on to extras and accessories. What does he bring? Move down him first. Show you the pose. Pretty much hero pose. Chest puffed up. Shield on his arm. Feet spread. Nice and balanced. And as we move back, got all his accessories are on that shelf. Now you're looking at that and you're thinking, not much. Not a great deal there. And that's right. Doesn't look like it. Sometimes I've said before, sometimes things bring shitloads and shitloads, but then you'll get stuff like it has a knife but there's no hand to hold it, or it has a diorama stand but it's shit, or it has a secondary head and it's nowhere near as good as the first. This might look misleading to you. You might be looking at this thinking, well, there's a note there, it's not a really good score. It's actually the opposite, because I look at it and think all bases covered. For a Captain America, minimum he would need to get a 5 out of 5. Now that is the case. I'm going to talk you through it, obviously. So as we see, he's got his, what we'll call his first portrait on, which is the masked head, or helmeted head, whatever you want to call it, and moving down, the only weapon he's got is his iconic shield. Now, like I've said before, touch of class, magnet there, magnet on the hand, really strong, no doubt I'm coming off. In fact, if I go to put it on, you've no doubt how good that is. Look, see, I can barely get it off. Obviously, it also fits on the back, for the sake of showing you. Let's just turn him. In fact, I'll tell you what we'll do, we'll turn it right way so I can actually do it fucking left-handed and stop being an idiot. If we look here, magnet, fits there on his back. No fucking about with that little clip that we've had 5 or 6 times. So, job well done, Hot Toys, job well done. Now, I'm in two minds as well with this. And the reason I say this is because they get you and you think, that's awesome, it's really good. But you also, there's part of your brain, as a long-term collector like myself, thinking, about fucking time, you idiots. They've been doing Captain America after Captain America after Captain America. I would say it's the most produced figure, probably aside from Iron Man and I would say possibly Joker or Batman. And finally, they've got it right. The shield is right. Really nice touch. It is die-cast. The handles still pop out, so you could have him holding it if you wanted. You see? Nice touch. Really well painted. Magnets work really well. They don't look like they're going to come unglued. Really, really nice touch. So the shield alone is awesome. Diorama base. Nah, not the most eye-catching base that you're ever going to see, but it supports the figure well. It's a move away from the generic stand. I think pretty much the Marvel figures are going to go this way with sort of the hexagon style design with the chrome nameplate at the front. Nice touch, just to step on, I suppose. And I suppose when you've got them all together, they are going to fit together. The plastic feeling, it's really glossy feeling there on the Avengers symbol, but then it's rough. Can you hear that? Now that's good for another reason. Can anybody think what it is? Friction. So sometimes when you put your feet on them Hot Toys bases, them generic ones, feet are sliding all over, and them in particular. You put a Robocop on the eye gloss base and it's moving around like a fucking bitch. Anybody who's got them figures will know them bases look alright, but they're too skiddy. They're a bit too skiddy. These dead rate. They feel like an emery cloth or emery board, should I say, nail file, whatever you want to call it. Really good. I just hope it doesn't wear over time and rub, because the stand is pretty good. Moving down, another key accessory that gets major points. Steve Rogers head sculpt. Again, because it's so good as well, just gets you buzzing. Really, really nice. We've looked around that already, so move down. The helmet, fair enough, it won't go onto his head, which would be the next level, but you can display him holding the empty helmet and have him looking quite iconic. Again, straps are a little bit too light for my liking, but still a really good addition. And pretty much covers everything that the stealth set brought. You're getting your Steve Rogers head now, and you're getting the empty mask, only getting one shield though. Instruction manual, worth a read, tells you how the magnets work. That's your implement for tucking the fabric around the neck and also into the glove. Talking about gloves, bare minimum on minimum requirement covered on the hands, 8, so 4 left, 4 right. So we've got sort of the magnetised right, the shield grabbing left, the spread right, fisted right, the belt buckle grabbing right, belt buckle grabbing left, fisted left, and then the magnetised left set of hand pegs. So really nice collection of stuff. Everything it brings is worthwhile. There's nothing that's just a filler. Everything you get is what you would want and what you would need, and I am going to give it a 5 out of 5 for extras. Job well done to Hot Toys. Rolling on to the value, and before we start that, I'll just quickly show you the pose. His legs more spread now. The shield's still on his right arm, but he's switching it across, grabbing it with the left. As we move down, stuff's still laid out. What he got? Nah, not a million items, but like I've just told you, everything were good. The price, because it's new release stock from Hong Kong, you know, I'm paid through fucking nose for it. I know the price when I ask for it, I get it, and I think, well, to get the review up quick, it's worthwhile to me. I don't make the money back on AdSense, so don't ever think I do. I make some back, but it don't ever pay for figures, so don't ever fucking think I'm Richard Branson and my channel's paying for itself, because that is not the case at all. Sometimes I need help, which I get regular. Sometimes it's a bitch to keep buying these figures, and I suppose this week is one of them bitches, because this were a bit on the expensive side. Is it worth it? I'm going to say it's not worth it. It's obviously not worth it, because I've been looking on eBay, because I thought, if I decide to keep this one, what is the stealth version gonna be worth? Now, bear in mind, my stealth version is the twin set, so I'm hoping it would be worth a bomb. But because this one's now released, the price on the stealth version comes down. So they don't hold the price like they used to, and everybody knows that. If I decided to keep the stealth version, which I might do, and sell this one, then this one's going on eBay to the highest bidder. That way I will definitely make my money back, because new release stuff already in UK always goes for a good price. And I know enough people for them to know what they're getting is a mint condition figure that's not being fucking broke or all like that. They're going to get what they say, and I'm good to deal with. I don't fuck about and say, I'm not asking for me, I'm so, you know, time waste. Not one of them at all. So I'm not going to tell you the price I paid, because I alluded to it on the last review, and then I got a few people asking, why is Rick paying this price and I'm paying that? Not that it's anybody else's business, and then they want to come back and defend themselves, or so on and so forth. And then I have other people then defending me for being pissed off about it or whatever, saying you shouldn't have to explain yourself and he should mind his own fucking business, all that. I don't want to cause no arguments, and like I say, on the flip side, I ain't got to explain myself to anybody. If anybody else thinks they entitled to any discount or whatever, talk to Anthony. I never ask for a discount. If he gives me a price, I say yes or no. I don't say how much has blah 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 paid, and then he says that, and say, well, I'm fucking Clipper King, I want it 20 quid late. That never happens, so don't think that that's the situation. Anyway, like, that's the reason I'm not going to tell you the price. I will say I paid over odds. If you can pick it up in the UK from 16 Bruce, then I would think you've probably missed a pre-order. If you haven't and you want it, I would say be paying around 150 for it. That way you're getting a good figure for a good price. The price I've paid is way over odds. I don't know if I'd make this money back unless I sold it this week. Then again, do I really want to sell it to make the money back? I don't know. But I'm going to give the value a 3 out of 5. Now, I would say, like I say, if you can get it for 150, well done. And then sort of knock a point off as you start going up to like 160, 170, 180. Because around the 200 mark, you'd be paying too much, I think. But you would probably be getting the best Captain America available, or the most buzzworthy Captain America to date. Anyway, that gives the figure a total of 26 out of a possible 35. Now, I'm guessing, before I even look at these comments, that a lot of people have gone way too high. Simply because I think they think that because I've got a new figure that I'm going to rave about it and not be honest about it. That's not the case. I always review everything straight up. And remember, the box loses points because it's only standard. Now, I'm going to turn my light off and we'll have a little look at this and see who said 26 out of a possible 35. Right, we got the light off. I hope this works better, because last time I was in a fucking nightmare with my phone. That's why I've got it on iPad now. So, as I posted, and it's nearly 2 hours ago, good afternoon, brothers and members. It's game time. Just about to start filming the cat review. If you want a name check, guess correctly the total review score. You know the score now. You know how we do it. Let's have a look. That's the first pose, if you remember. And let's have a look at the comments. We're looking for anybody who got 26 out of a possible 35. And I will say, I'm thinking because it's Saturday afternoon, there's going to be a few guesses. He's close, that lad. Not far off at all. Some are going a little bit too high. Some have gone very high. Very high indeed. As I'm scrolling down, I'm getting new comments all the time, so I don't know how many I've got here. Here we go. First one on this episode is Sean Chester Bell. Let's have a look at Sean Chester Bell. Let's get him. What's he doing? Went up against that fence. Look, bless him. That takes some zooming, because that is a really small shot. So Sean Chester Bell's got 26. He's worked it out well, that lad. He hadn't let us into his formula. He's not let us in on how he's done it, but that is That's what he's come to. That's his score, bless him. Moving up. Look at all these. All gone too high. I don't know. I know what sort of reviews these lads will be doing. Biased. New figures will all get good scores. Uncle Clipper don't fucking roll like that. Look at them. All up there. All in 30s. You're all wrong. You're all way too high. Oh, give a mention to this lad here. Daniel Hernandez. Well, give him a shout out because the picture on Edding for group, he did it. So respect to that lad. And he actually asked me for a shout out. Normally when people ask, they don't get. But he did me a little service, so he's going to get a mention. Whoa. Fucking hell's happening here? Probably my phone's fucking going off and all. Anybody else? Am I missing any? You've all shot too high. All shot too high, you have. Let's have a look. All gone too high. That one's close there. Not far off. Watch for your names. So I'm not mentioning it unless it's rate score. So keep rolling, keep rolling. What's he got? No. Too high. Too high. Fucking hell, they've all shot too high. No. No, 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 no. Just give me a fucking score. What's we all fucking writing here? We got 28. No. What's that about? Fucking hell. No. No, fucking hell. It looks like there's only been one winner here. So, give me this figure. I'm fucking dreaming. I wish I could afford to. Go down. Whoa. Fucking hell. Not many gone for it, has there? Fucking thumb's getting tired scrolling down. Wrong, wrong, wrong. Wrong, wrong, wrong. Is that 31? Wrong, wrong. Fucking hell. Have I had this up right or what? Some of these are shot too high. Shot foot stars they have. I think that is the end. So you've probably seen your name. You've probably not heard your name because you've all gone way too high. Show you. So I'm not cheating. This is me write down book. 3 for source material, 3 for packaging, 4 for outfit, articulation 3, extras 5, value 3. There you go. Total score 26. Just to show I'm not cheating nobody. That's your scores. You've all fucked up today, boys. You're a set of fucking idiots. I don't know why I fucking keep entertaining you. Can't get scores right, you better fuck off. I only played. Thanks for having a go, boys. But for now, it's Uncle Clipper and the newest Captain America, and we are out of here.